The whispering shadows. It was a cold autumn evening when Emma arrived at her late grandmother's countryside estate. The old Victorian house stood at the edge of a dense forest, its silhouette sharp against the crimson sky. The house, a relic of a bygone era, was said to be cursed, but Emma had dismissed those rumors as superstitious nonsense. The air felt thick as she stepped inside. Dust danced in the dim light filtering through the stained glass windows. The floorboards creaked under her boots, and the musty scent of decay filled the air. Emma had inherited the estate after her grandmother's sudden passing, a death shrouded in mystery. The locals whispered that the house held secrets better left undisturbed. But Emma, a rational woman, was here to catalog her grandmother's belongings and sell the place. She set down her bag in the grand foyer, its walls adorned with faded portraits. The faces in the paintings seemed to follow her, their eyes filled with a mix of sorrow and disdain. Ignoring the unsettling feeling, she made her way upstairs to the master bedroom. As she entered, she noticed a large, ornate mirror leaning against the wall. Its frame was carved with intricate designs of twisting vines and grotesque faces. The glass was foggy, as though it hadn't been cleaned in decades. That night, Emma decided to sleep in the master bedroom. Exhausted, she drifted into a restless slumber, but her dreams were plagued with whispers. "Leave. You don't belong here." She woke with a start, her heart racing. The room was deathly silent, save for the faint rustle of leaves outside. Shaking off her unease, she blamed the whispers on her overactive imagination. The next morning, Emma began sorting through her grandmother's belongings. She found journals filled with cryptic notes about shadows and voices. One entry read, "They watch from the mirror. Do not trust the reflections." Emma felt a chill run down her spine. She glanced at the ornate mirror, its surface dull yet oddly captivating. Dismissing her grandmother's writings as the ramblings of an old woman, she returned to her task. As the day wore on, strange occurrences began to unfold. Doors slammed shut on their own. She heard footsteps in the hallway when no one was there. The mirror, once dull, now seemed to gleam, as if beckoning her to look closer. That evening, Emma found herself drawn to the mirror. She stared at her reflection, but something felt off. Her reflection seemed delayed, as if moving a fraction of a second slower than she did. Suddenly, her reflection smiled, but Emma hadn't. She stumbled backward, her breath caught in her throat. The reflection returned to normal, but the unsettling image was seared into her mind. Determined to uncover the truth, Emma dove into her grandmother's journals that night. One entry stood out. "The mirror is a gateway. They come through when the light fades. I tried to seal it, but they are too strong. If you find this, leave. Burn the house if you must." Emma's rational mind struggled to accept what she had read. Was her grandmother losing her grip on reality, or was there truth to her warnings? As the clock struck midnight, the house plunged into darkness. The power had gone out. Armed with a flashlight, Emma made her way to the basement to check the fuse box. The air grew colder with each step, and the whispers returned, louder this time. "Join us. Stay with us forever." Emma froze. The beam of her flashlight revealed handprints on the walls, their shapes distorted and unnatural. Panic set in, but she pressed on, determined to fix the power and leave the house as soon as possible. In the basement, she found the fuse box, but it was smashed beyond repair. The whispers grew louder, almost deafening, as if the shadows themselves were alive. Emma's flashlight flickered, and for a brief moment, she saw figures in the darkness, twisted, shadowy forms with glowing eyes. She ran upstairs, slamming the basement door shut behind her. Her mind raced as she tried to figure out what to do. Then she remembered the mirror. If her grandmother's warnings were true, it was the source of the evil in the house. Emma grabbed a heavy iron poker from the fireplace and returned to the master bedroom. The mirror seemed to pulse with a sinister energy, its surface rippling like water. Her reflection stared back at her, but it wasn't her. It was something else, something darker. As Emma raised the poker to smash the mirror, her reflection spoke. "Foolish girl," it hissed. "You cannot destroy what you do not understand. The room grew colder, and shadows began to pour out of the mirror, their forms coalescing into a tall, menacing figure. It reached for Emma, its voice a guttural growl. "Join us. Embrace the darkness." Summoning every ounce of courage, Emma swung the poker with all her might. The mirror shattered, its shards scattering across the room. A deafening scream filled the air as the shadowy figure dissolved into nothingness. The house trembled, the walls cracking as if the very foundation was collapsing. Emma fled, barely escaping as the estate crumbled behind her. She stood in the cold night, watching the ruins of her grandmother's house smolder. The whispers were gone, but the memory of what she had faced would haunt her forever. Though she had destroyed the mirror, Emma couldn't shake the feeling that the shadows were still watching, waiting for another chance to escape.